Hey everyone, Jamie Phillips, Action Auto Parts. Man, it's 9 o'clock and I have been riding the old Kubota hard for 3 hours and still not exactly 100% done. I like to just a little bit there and over there, but man, I am wore out and I'm absolutely covered with dirt. It is so dry and dusty, but the old pond's looking good. I fed my fish a couple times today, man. They're spoiled. You start walking up on that dock and here they come. And I put out some new solar lights around the pond and I really haven't got to see them lit up yet because I haven't been out here where it was dark enough yet. But this one has came on and then one over there has came on. So I told Felicia, you're going to have to be careful weed eating around those because those were a little more than them little 50 centers. But they got real glass kind of crackled globes. So should put off a pretty good little bit of light around the pond. I bought 8 of them. So I started here, there, down there, one down there on this side of the boat, and one kind of almost in front of the boat, and then one right over there. So, but it'll get some bugs, maybe around the edge of the bank where the frogs and stuff sits. And there goes one of the bats. I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're dipping down and hitting the water and getting the bugs, I guess, off the top of the water. It's really nice when we have had a chance just to sit out here at night. We'd have the other furniture up there or just sit there on the dock, and as it, of course, gets a little bit darker, there's usually 2 or 3 bats and they'll fly around. My wife was kind of freaking out at first. I said, they're not going to bother you. It's kind of fun watching them feed off of the pond. But someday, hopefully, when I get everything organized, I'll have some kind of something here just to kind of block that off, so that if we are sitting out here and enjoying ourselves, you know, with family or friends or whatever, it kind of blocks off some of that. And it may be some of the campers, because we're wanting to someday eventually have those kind of restored and sitting right here close. But this big field here, it's not the biggest field, but it's a little time consuming because it's got a bigger valley in it. So you have to really be careful when you're mowing, because I had a good friend. He was actually the mayor of Stanford at the time, was mowing with the help out at one of the landmarks there in Stanford, and turned a 0 turnover on him, and it killed him. And so I'm always thinking about that. But the way I do here is go down and then back up some, and that helps balance the mower better than trying to come down that hill, if that makes sense. It's not as steep going this way as it is coming down the other one. But plus there was the guys that done the timber cutting. It was a little rough down there where they drug some of the logs out, and so they brought the bobcat back out here and kind of smoothed that little transition out for me, because it was just beating me to death trying to mow through it. And we've had this one area that's been a huge brush pile about ever since I've had the farm. And in cleaning out stuff, it had gotten like some old woven wire, bob wire. And he said, if you want me to, I'll just take the bobcat and push it down in the woods. I said, man, that would be awesome. That'd clean that spot up. And we just had burned that the last time 2 or 3 weeks ago, and some bees or something had moved in, and it's kind of right there. And they tried to burn them out a couple times, and then there was still a few hanging around. So I waited till it was a little getting more toward dark, and I could still see them a little bit, but it's so dry and dusty, man. I was just running over top of them as fast as I could go and stirring up a bunch of dust. And so thankfully, luckily, I did not get stung. But in our little cabin, you can't really see it because it's the foliage is so dark, and the cabin's dark, but it sits right in there. But I'm just I love the place. I just give anything if we was living out here, so that all I'd have to do now is just go in the garage, take a shower, and then go to the house, because I don't want to, as nasty as I am, it would keep me from tracking and going into the bathroom at the house. And I think Crystal will probably like it. Get this big rock up that got turned up. It seemed like you mow and all of a sudden there's one that gets churned up. But oh man, so I didn't get on each side of the gate out there, but before I get open in the morning, I'll probably get out here early, and it won't take me 15 minutes at best to finish up. But I'm just wore out, and it was getting just dark enough. It was hard sometimes to see exactly where I needed to go, but got all of this I kind of call the front yard, and then the big field. I think I'll just drive over there here in a second, but got all the big field mowed and around all the cars up on the hill. And I just love when it's freshly cut. I mean, I try to stripe it. I want it to look good. And it's just a good feeling when you get done. You're dirty, you're tired. It's been hot, but it just looks so good to me. I'm like, you know, it's worth it. It was well worth it. So, and Felicia's slowly getting caught back up on the weed eating, or at least down in here. She's got to hit the upper junkyard pretty hard first of the week, and then she'll about have it pretty much caught up where it's not big, at least. And she's doing a good job on all that. And I need to go to Walmart and grab just a few bags of mulch. The flower bed is just really done good, but there's a couple crabgrasses that's popped up just since, I think 2 weeks ago, we pulled stuff out of it. So we'll have to get them out tomorrow, that one, a couple little ones, but overall, man, the flowers are really maturing and looking good. I still wish my flag was a little bit taller, and I've got the section to do it, but I swear I'm afraid if I put it on there, I don't want it to break again. And so I guess I'll ride it out and kind of see a little bit. But yeah, I think we need to get a little bit of mulch in here, and that might help slow some of that old crabgrass down if we get it all pulled up by the roots and stuff. But it's took a year or so, but a lot of those flowers are maturing really good and looking pretty good. So I think I'm gonna go up on the field, top of the hill or something, and I'll add on to this in here just in a minute. And then maybe by then it looks like the lights are coming on around the pond, so I might get to see those. And then of course we got to take that in the back, that in the back. Cadillac runs. Peg just drove it around yesterday. The Nissan runs. He drove it around yesterday. And I've sold the blue Lincoln. He was going to come tomorrow or Sunday, but he can't. He went ahead and sent me all the money on it, and I really appreciated that. And said he'd probably be down in the next week or so and get it. So, and I've sent off to try to get the key to the 06 Monte Carlo. So trying to get a few things caught up, but I'll do a little driving and I'll be right back. So this is the big field, I call it. And you can see I've got it striped pretty good, and I like cutting it close, which it's been so dry. I mean, it's, you know, not down here closer to the road, it wasn't as tall, but anyway, it's up at the top of the hill. It was a little bit taller up that way. So I cruised up here to the top of the hill. Of course, there's some sketch marks where Anthony had loaded a bunch of cars back in the winter, but this part mows pretty good. There's a few little bumps and stuff that bounces you around, and of course back over on that side, going up and down all the rows around the cars is a little time consuming, because you want to get as close to them as you can, but at the same time not hit them or something. But there, right in here, is where our future house is going to go. And the driveway will not hardly be parallel with that little one across the road. You can kind of see where the dark line comes. That's the ditch with the road. So it's going to be about right in there is where the driveway will come in and come up behind the house. And the house is going to face that way toward the garage. So it would just be pulling straight up behind it. And then with a turnaround back there in the front of the house, there won't be a driveway around it or anything. But I like that little section over there by the Little Red Express and the El Camino. So I'm gonna pull back down here and see what the lights is looking like around the pond. So Felicia got my wife's egg chair out of storage, and we had that rug spread out, and she didn't understand what really I was talking about. But the wind blows so much, you about got to have something sitting on all four corners. And I really want to carry these pieces back up here and kind of set them up. And then hopefully this summer sometime, before he goes back to school, get my brother to pour this slab of concrete, because this is where I would want to put the grill if we're grilling out and stuff, not on this plastic decking. And then hopefully, I'd really love to get the roof on this thing and the side rails up on it. But baby steps, I guess. I'm gonna see if I can't sit down here and get the bats if nobody calls and stops it. See if you all can see the bats. Right there goes one. See it? Pretty cool, I think. They just fly around and just tip the edge of that water, getting them bugs and stuff, I guess, off of it. It's just pretty cool. And then there's some bullfrogs that'll start singing here in a little bit. But I always thought it was kind of cool. When I was a kid, I was kind of freaked out by bats because one hit me in the head once. But other than that, you know, I had hair then, I got hair now, so he just bounced off of it. But there's a couple of them. And it looks like, because you got to get those lights to where naturally the sun can hit them, charge them up. And so I kind of spaced them. This one here, I had a little bit of concern, but actually the sun was hitting it good enough to charge it up. And it was one of the first ones that actually came on. So I wished I could be out here when it's dark, but man, I'm wore out. I've been out here since, I don't know, about 9:30, so almost 12 hours. But Felicia does a good job keeping around the pond. Now, she's got a weed eat again over there, because that grows a lot quicker than this over here around this big sycamore and stuff. But it's a lot of work. Thank God I've got good help, because I couldn't run the weed eater that much. I've done it before. I threw that thing out there and the fish are hitting it. Look at them. There's some big old bass in there, man. But I threw that piece of bark out there, and as soon as it hit the water, the ripples was coming up around it. And bats are getting close to me after I said I wasn't scared of them. Hope none of y'all are kin to Barnabas Collins. Yeah, from Dark Shadows. Maybe not all of y'all are old enough to remember that one, but it's just funny how they fly and can just barely hit that water. There's a few of them here tonight. Hadn't got to sit out here this late in a while. But, well, I'm not going to bore you no longer. I just was feeling good about how everything looked with the grass cut. And the pond water's looking pretty good. Of course, the spring is still running a little bit into it, but it's down some because the overflow's drying up. I noticed that when I was mowing over a while ago. So we're supposed to maybe get some rain tomorrow and Sunday. So really, I hope we do a little bit, at least after I close tomorrow. And then it could rain, and that would help out, because it don't take much and that spring starts kicking in again. But I hope you all are having just a great, blessed week. And I hope you're getting all the much needed work done around your place. And so please just give me a thumbs up and help me out there. And comments is always good. I try to respond back to everybody. And subscriptions, I think I'm over 1,700 now, so it's continuing to grow, and I appreciate that. But I'd still like to have you subscribe if you've not done it yet. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.